are to death, the more alive you feel.
You're James, aren't you?
Yes.
James Hunt, he sounds rad. He was like Wilt Chamberlain. He slept with like 5,000 ladies, and he's also like Michael Jordan of racing in many ways.
Sure, yeah. It was
that's awesome.
A fascinating character. I fell in love with the guy and what he was about and what he kind of stood for.
Next time I'll have you.
No chance. You're just the party guy. That's why everybody likes you.
Yes, I know, I'm terrible.
No, you're not terrible. You're just who you are at this point in your life.
To be a champion, it takes more than just being quick.
You have to really believe it.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
I can beat this guy, trust me.
He's consistent, dependable.
Will he put his life on the line the day that really matters?
You want to do his memory justice and with all the respect you can, and there's so many different opinions, on kind of who this guy was and what he was about, and that was a daunting thing to walk into. And in the end, I kind of had to take the approach he did to life and to racing, which was, do it my way and disregard the outside opinions and influences and just, stand by, this is who I am, this is my approach, and it was cool.
I'm surprised it was so daunting for you because, Ron Howard said this was the easiest casting choice he's ever had in his life, was putting you into that part.
Sure, and then I felt the responsibility to not to prove him wrong,
Who's that?
It's Niki Lauda. He's just been signed by Ferrari.
He's a nobody.
Look at the way he's driving, like an old man.
Right now, with zero incentive, why would I drive fast?
Because I'm asking you to.
I don't know how many people who watch this or who watch this have seen Eat My Dust or Grand Theft Auto. Those are both movies that I really enjoy.
Is that many, if any?
I got more speeding tickets than anybody else in the county.
Hoover, you're outrageous.
Ron Howard pops the clutch and tells the world to eat my dust.
Grand Theft Auto is a love story. With cars.
When I think about this, though, it seems like you took those really early movies and then you took everything you learned on, like, Apollo 13 and making these gigantic films, and you mushed it together into this perfect little present for audiences.
Wow. Yeah, that makes me feel great. And I did feel, when I was in the middle of making the movie, I actually had a moment. I almost never look back, I'll always try to move forward and just figure out, what does this movie need? What can I understand about it, and so forth. But there was a moment where we were working quickly. The budget was kind of tight. The movie was very ambitious. Had needed to work on a lot of different levels. And I remember thinking, I'm glad I have those movies and these years under my belt. I was thinking about Grand Theft Auto at times. I was thinking about Apollo 13 and Backdraft, and so it was a sort of a culmination in a way. And thank you for recognizing that.
This is an incredible battle between these two great drivers.
Everybody in the hallway is like, be careful, get ready, you're about to fall in love.
I'm flattered.
But Niki Lauda, the character you play,
it's not the most likable.
Is so despicable initially. Is that man that way, the man who you met when you were doing research? Is he the same person as we saw on screen?
It's pretty accurate, yeah, I would say, yeah. But still, he's a likable guy, in his very own way. He's Austrian. They have this strange sense of humor, so he's very ironic and sarcastic. But, you end up loving him. Honestly.
You ended up loving him. How do you start out,
at first it freaked me out, because the first time he called me, he said, well, I guess we have to meet now. And I said, yeah, that'd be fantastic. And then he said, well, just bring hand luggage to Vienna. In case we don't like each other, you can piss off right away. So that's his very typical bluntness. And yeah, I flew to Vienna with my little bag, and then fortunately, I had to buy some extra clothes because I stood longer than expected. And after 5 minutes, he had this smile on his face. He can be very charming, honestly. And then, from then on, we really had a very good relationship. And he would answer me any questions. And we were talking about very delicate stuff. We were talking about death and fear and overcoming fear and. And I got goosebumps when I watched him watching the movie in London at the premiere the other night, because I guess it must be extremely tough for him to relive these moments, and he said that he was very moved.
Watching you just drop back into that character, I'm really having this, I'm having to reclaim my senses, because when you were on screen, I was like, this is such phenomenal casting, because you just were this man, and now meeting you here, you're so different, and then watching you drop back into it. This is amazing, Daniel. I love this.
That's good.
How long?
So you're falling in love?
I am. See, they were right.
Welcome to the racing grudge match of the decade.
Certainly.
It's that perfect boy sweet spot of like cars and pretty ladies.
Women like it more than men in testing, which is interesting. It tests off the charts with girls.
My boyfriend's the one who cried, and I was not.
That's great. I think that's what makes it a great kind of date movie, is because there's something for both sexes, for every age. But leave it to Ron Howard to make a film that's specifically about racing, but just feels like so much more.
More powerful than the fear of death